We got other the other ones, the new ones. This song.
What you call it off? What you want to
Y'all
start?
live.
Alright.
I just said we going live.
You should have said 1, 2, 3 or something.
Alright. We live now. We
1,
live.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on, wait a minute.
We live.
She said she got some questions she want to get together and ask, and she got some people with some questions that want to be answered tonight. So tonight we're gonna be actually getting to some paperwork. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause she actually called me and she said, "Hey man, you got my email going. You got all these guys calling me. They've heard a lot of stuff and they never heard nothing like what you said. So that's a plus. But also, you know, can you show my people something that you know is relatively can be construed as proof, so that they'll just actually have something together without it costing them an arm and leg to see. You know what I mean? Because they appreciate the way that I broke the thing down. And I appreciate y'all for allowing me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So today we're going to show and prove, you know what I'm saying, title paperwork, things from Uncle Sam. None of the Jane Doe, John Doe things. Everything is still in my name. She'll be able to read the terminology and see the stuff that was filed. So you'll see it in real time. Now when you join our community in school on July 1st, you will also be a part of that to where we're going to be actually releasing and doing these documents for the people in our own community. So July 1st, I'm looking forward to getting the emails from everybody, seeing everybody that joined. The only cost of joining is the purchase of the book. There was a $1,000 fee, but I'm waiving that. As long as you have the book, you can get in. Because I just really want everybody to get together so that they can actually utilize what I'm finna show y'all. So it shouldn't cost you nothing if I know what I'm doing.
All right, y'all. Well, he did all of everything. He said everything, y'all. But I gotta top it off because, first of all, welcome to Spirit Talk. Okay, I'm Wunam, aka Nicky Love, and for those who don't know, who's just joining in for the first time, this is our lovely brother Kisalu, the author of
White Paper, Black Ink, The Chains of Bondage, and other curriculum that you're going to get a breastplate over the near future. I'm writing curriculum so that, you know what I mean, I didn't have nothing to study. When I was doing what I was doing, it was about execution. So the person that I was studying was a person, it wasn't a book. So in regards to when I wrote the book, I needed notes for myself, so that's how the book became. It became my notes, things that I was doing, the clarification and clarity that I was seeking came from my actions. So I decided to put it in the book because that was our abundance. It was white paper with black ink that was keeping me held up because it was word assimilated contracts. But one, I got abreast of it, and then I got myself structured. Everything took off. So tonight we're going to talk about how did I get to where I am, what is the exemplification for record, how did I get it, and what is all this paperwork we brought with us tonight? Because like I said, man, Nicky Love said, you got to show her people some real proof.
That's
They
right.
want tangible evidence, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to buy a course or join nothing. I told them too, I don't want y'all to buy a course because I ain't selling none. Definitely ain't creating none neither. I just wrote a book. So just buy the book and then show that we are like-minded and we need to be together.
All right, there you have it. Okay, so y'all, I'm sorry, because I'm trying to get everybody to come over. We got to share this. Because, you know, it's time to show and prove. We talked all this talk for the last 4 or 5 shows. All this talk, but we ain't seen nothing yet, y'all.
Right.
We ain't seen, so I want to see some stuff. I want to see how you got a car. I want to see how you got a house. I want to see some things, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to start asking you, let's talk about, what you want to talk about first?
What everybody got, what they got all confused, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody got the birth bond confused, the exemplification for record.
They got that confused? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the birth part.
The secured creditor party is based off the birth bond. Equity, jurisprudence, anything that y'all hear out there right now being sold to you is just based off of that. You know what I'm saying? It's based off the exemplification from record. There is no such thing as the birth bond. It is called exemplification from record. You have to exemplificate the bond from record. And I just want to start off letting people know that bond is not held at the Vital Records Department. It's held at the Security Exchange Commission. So that's what I wanted to start off with, letting everybody know that the bond is not at the Vital Records Department. You have to go to the Vital Records Department and get the receipt, the registrar's receipt of the birth, of the action. And then from there, they'll give you the paperwork and documents that is needed to go to the Security Exchange Commission. After I got to the Security Exchange Commission, I was questioned for maybe 3 hours about money laundering, domestic terrorism, and liberty and justice for all.
Why?
You know, because I think it was because they just wanted to see what type of mind frame I had before I got the bond and the money. Because you hear a lot of sovereign people talking about this, you hear a lot of movements about it, but they have no real action on it. You know what I mean? So I think they were just trying to make sure I wasn't going to be a paperwork terrorist. You know, I didn't understand it, and I didn't matter because it was my first time.
I didn't know that they would. I mean, probably me. Why would they? You know what I mean?
You know, you finna get the simplification from record. They're finna put you on some stuff about bonds and taxes and stuff. So they probably do want to know if you finna fall no longer or have ties to some Islamic groups or ties overseas or something like that. But after that, they gave me 3 court dates. And the 3 court dates, one is for HJR 192 and 33 explanation. The other one is for jurisdiction and firing a prosecutor as my fiduciary trustee and appointing an executor or executrix over my estate. And then the last one is for me to come in and understand how to properly file every 21 days so that I can get my tax credit recouped every 45 days.
Okay.
So it started with that. It started with the simplification record and not Berg bond. So from that process came the value. What I did was with the value, you are given a numerical value. It was 500 million. And then you have to offset this value in the public. You don't get this value as some real money to go spend. You got to show him, which is Uncle Sam, that this is the public debt attached to your capital level name, and you're smart enough to create corporations to pull the debt out of the system and zero out the account.
Okay.
So he will award you that type of credit. Full faith and credit, a bond with a maturity date for that. That is the implication from record. Then the law firm that you're getting presented by that does municipalities is going to present you with a special conditions of presentment letter and then the value of your bond. As you see, this letter here is saying special notice and conditions of presentment. This is how all my bonds, all my clearances, checks get paid. So they say, if you got this and you got 500 million, you don't supposed to be broke. And you're right. After this, I left the court 3 court dates. I went and got this right here. Then it came with this right here. If anybody can see, this is the registered offset bond for 500 million in my total value of my Berg bond. My simplification of value was 500 million. That means that they were gonna give me 50 mil up front, 450 mil had to be offset every 6 months for the next 9 years. So what people have to understand is it's not no money to spend. For the next 9 years, every 6 months, I had to show receipts for $26 million. That's why you can't go out and start a barber shop or open up a landscaping company, because those type of businesses have no type of receipts that's going to fund the money back to Uncle Sam to show that this was a pull off of your exemplification from record. This is the presentment that you got to give banks. This is what banks got to know about processing your stuff, cashing out with you, transferring funds. This letter here tells them how to deal with you. And this from Uncle Sam, so you're going to get this from the court. The next one is going to be the bond. After the bond, they're going to make you make an appointment with these people here. These people here are the people that they make checks. They make all type of paperwork for checks and states and government agencies. And then they're going to give you this, this, and this. You see that? These are money orders, people. These are money orders that I utilize to actually get the assets that I'm going to be speaking about tonight. And I ain't getting no little bit of assets with this. I'm not riding around in no Honda. And I ain't utilizing the maximum. If you got the bond, you can't be poor. You can't be squatting. You can't be telling nobody there ain't no money on the HJR 192 or 1933, but then telling them I need fiat donations because I read something you didn't read, and then come to find out the shit you read was on YouTube. Tonight, I'm gonna show and prove.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Tonight we're gonna show and prove.
All right. So when we speak about all of us, right? What you're talking about. You make me laugh, okay? The way that everybody been doing it over the years has been wrong.
It's only been wrong because it was presented to them wrong.
Okay.
Right, because they know, but you shouldn't have itching ears. There is no way that nobody should have told you that your birth bond worth 500 meals at Divine Record Partners. You can go down there and get it for $26. It just shouldn't. You shouldn't have bought that. It sounds good to those with itching ears, and to all the people that went out there and did it. I'm not mad at you.
So, I have a question. So the birth bond is different than what they have in the, what do you call it, the Federal Reserve, right?
The birth bond and the Federal Reserve is co-mingling. Because the co-mingling of the Federal Reserve with the birth bond situation is the CUSA. On the back of your Social Security card, there's an identifying 9-digit number that starts with a letter. That is one of the houses of the Federal Reserve. There's only 8 branches, so one of them letters is belong to the 8 branches. So that is assigned to everybody. Right, that's where the Federal Reserve come in, because see, when you were born in 1978 and 9 pounds 6 ounces, they weighed up 9 pounds 6 ounces in 1978 at 24 karat gold, and then put the price together and valued that, hypothecated that by 10 million. From there, the bond was starting to grow.
Oh, okay, that's how they do it. Okay.
Right, that's why they say everybody's backed by gold.
I never heard that one. Backed by gold.
Yeah, you were born and backed by gold. You won't hear that term until you get the soul plates. And anybody know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. Your exemplification record, what you're going to take over there to the bond, the Security Chain Commission, is going to be your soul plates.
Okay.
And that's the one that has your footprints and all that other stuff on it. But they also have a CUSA value. It has a lot of underrated talk in it. So, a lot of the stuff I did from that point, I got them bills, and then from there it was, okay, how can you spend this money without spending this money? Then I had to learn that it wasn't no money for me to spend. I had to go in and buy debt, businesses that were dying and drop the business, break up the departments, alleviate what's profitable and wasn't profitable, and then downsize the situation and collapse the whole company under bankruptcy. I had to remove debt. That's what this is about, removing debt. It's not about going to get the money.
Use that to move that money right there, the 500 million.
Yeah, that's all it's for. Cause see, Uncle Sam was saying, "Hey, you stepping up. Did you know while you stepping up that you worth 500 million?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me get that." He like, while you were laughing and ready to accept it, I wasn't talking about 5 million in cash. I mean, you owe 500 million. So can you be trusted to go out there, give Caesar what's Caesar, become a fisher of men, and remove this 500 million out of debt in 9 years with nothing in your name? No assets gaining not one penny in wealth. Can you do that? And then if so, I will go ahead and alleviate the whole value to you once you remove it off the national debt in full faith and value to you for you to spend now as a household. Because you really, if you make it during 9 years and I'll say this, you'll know how to run the family and the state. Then you'll know about 15 acres and why 15 acres is required. So all the stuff I'm talking about, I learned because of the exemplification for record.
Somebody said, when you claim your bond, do you have to renounce a U.S. passport?
No, you don't have to renounce anything. I think that's a misconception, but it makes it good to those with itchy ears that it sounds like, hey, I have to renounce something to give you a feeling or something. But you don't have to renounce anything. It's sort of like having status correction or name correction. You don't have to correct anything when there's no status to be corrected. Because Uncle Sam never made a mistake on the burn. So the question is, nah, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Okay. Any more questions?
Let me see. Nope. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. That's all right. So let's move on to the next part. We're going to talk about next. I know you talk about cars, you talk about houses, and you know a lot of people were talking about how they can get a house, how they can get a car. So.
No, they said, what's the first step?
The first step of getting your exemplification for record is getting a law firm to come in and present you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be represented in this. And it's going to be like some Masonic talk. That law firm got to go in there and basically got to ask them folks for your exemplification for record for travel outside the United States. And they're going to say where? You're going to say the Philippines. And it is going to be attributed to you from that point on. The first step you want to know about that is having 15 acres. Because without 15 acres, the government said they can trespass against you and your family rights, so you don't even have the power to absorb the bond. The bond is not being awarded to you as a living person. The bond is being awarded to your estate, your entity recognized as a state. And that means that you have to go and get 15 acres or more to actually situate the bond into. That values your estate for 500 million. Now it's going out there and offsetting the debt.
Okay. And you have it. You want me to ask my question?
I had jumped in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I ain't know nothing about no security crowd. I ain't know nothing about no.
But to know more, you gotta get the books and come to class, y'all. Okay.
To decipher this. Why when you get the book and come to class?
Right.
I mean, you're in every Telegram, Clubhouse book. You done bought everybody process.
Right. Make sure
It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked how they sold it to you. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just telling you, listen, I don't need to tell you nothing. I'm trying to tell you the truth. But before I tell you the truth, let me show you I got the paperwork that qualifies me to even be talking what I'm talking about. Because you ain't heard this before. You definitely ain't gonna see it. And none of my paperwork say Jane is done. No. I don't have nothing to hide. So I'm asking you, if you're selling the process, show me the paperwork for that process. Because if I don't have a process, I just go to the system. The system has a system, and the system works. And they have their own paperwork, so I ain't gotta make up shit. As you notice, all the paperwork I'm pulling out is gonna come from them. From a courthouse, a bank, or the IRS.
All right, that's a good one. Let's go for the IRS first. Let's go to the IRS.
Let's see what I want to settle on about. Okay, we can do this. First, you got to be set up as a church, a religious organization, a 501c8, charitable remainder trust. As you see it, this here is set up when I do offsets to, if I go get a Lamborghini, if I go get a Rolls Royce, if I go get a house, these things have to be paid for. Now, I'm strategically going to ask for my corporation name to make a corporate asset and a corporate acquisition for corporate housing. I'm going to call and ask for a bonded buyer's order, a financing application for commercial only. I'm not going to do a regular consumer application. So remember, ask for a business finance application, you're going to ask them for the commercial finance application. You're not going to fill out.
Just for the car, right?
That's for anything that you do.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
don't just fill out the one for the consumer. They have two applications, one for the corporation and one for the person.
Okay.
I always ask for the commercial finance application.
Okay.
And then there's the point where they give me the car. Because I got it with the bond. I got it with the corporation. I showed you they're going to have some money, but now on paper, I done tricked them into thinking that I have this value on me live. So now they're going to give me assets. Why? Because the assets going to come because they can go and validate this with Uncle Sam.
Right.
I just left the law firm. They can validate I got this. They just going to want to be paid. Now that's where these tax forms come in handy. Because Uncle Sam got 2,100 tax forms. And I ain't buying no Lamborghini for me. I'm going to buy it because I need the type of car to ride to the meetings that are going to attract the type of business I'm trying to handle. I ain't buying that 10,000 square foot home for me. I bought it because I need to have corporate retreats, if you're listening, Uncle Sam. Wink, wink. And I just have occasionally live there. Wink, wink. With a lease. Wink. From the corporation. Wink. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, the next thing you need to do is these people will want to be paid. You know what I'm saying? So I have to put their expenses on tax form. Now for the acquisition of the home, I do a 1099-A cover sheet. And then the 1099-A, which stands for what? Acquisitions or abandonment of secured property. I'm trying to get a home. I need to pay these people. So what they're asking for is a description of the home in 3 different ways, people. You can't just go and put the house address. You can't even go and put the legal description. You got to put the lawful description of this transfer in the Uncle Sam paperwork. And the funny thing is, Uncle Sam asked for this type of information. So it's not like I got to make this up or put this in there. He asked for this. So on this same paperwork, it asks for the routing number and the accounting number of who should be owed. And guess what I put on there? Not me. I put the mortgage people on there so the Uncle Sam send that money to them.
Right.
So they can release the mortgage. So on this paperwork here, I got to put 6-bedroom home, 10,000 square feet, legal description, southwest quarter of a section 35, township 2 north, all that blase. Longitude, latitude. And then at the bottom, asset transfer to the family trust with a QC number identifying on it. Why would an identifying QC number be on the tax form? Why would they ask it? Okay.
So go back. It's a family trust, so you actually transfer it to the family trust.
Yeah, because that's what your estate is.
Okay.
You got one already created in the family in your name when you were born.
Okay.
See, they created the birth certificate, they created all these things, and they created the trust and everything while you were born. I'm just going back and showing that, hey, I don't want to own it. I just need to control it.
Right.
Because if I own it, then y'all gonna tax me for it. But if I control it, I can live off the benefits of it. So after I get the house, I got a realtor involved. She didn't get paid off of this. This is between me and the homeowner. But she ended up making the acquisition people to my religious organization. Do you see whose name I put in there? Bank of America. Customer Identification Corporate Center. So I'm making sure they get paid. I gotta make sure this broker get paid because if she wouldn't ever try to close the deal if she didn't think she was getting paid and I was gonna use some type of paperwork.
Right.
So now I have to use a 1099 and another tax form, people. I have to use the 1099B. Proceeds from broker and barter exchange transactions. See, this is how I get that real estate agent paid. Because off the 2.7 million that they say that I paid for the house, she got $90,741. And I needed Uncle Sam to credit that to her account because she was a part of this transaction.
Right.
See, I get everybody paid. There's no running for people. Just because you don't have to pay taxes don't mean you should keep not accounting to them motherfuckers.
So what's the difference between A and B?
The A is 13 1099s, but the A is just what it stands for. Everything has its own title. Acquisitions are of abandoned unsecured property. This is a real estate transaction form. That's what that's for. The B is for barters and proceeds so that I can make sure that the realtor paid. Because if the realtor don't get paid, then they gonna think I'm cutting them out the way and talking directly to the owner with some old scheme, scam type shit. Where the money is? We want cash. Put something down for security escrow. Yeah, I'm gonna be all that. And then there's another 1099 called what? Cancellation of debt. And I know a lot of y'all out here filing these and they don't even have no debt to be canceled. Y'all be trying to do that shit with some personal debt like from Chase or some shit. Yeah. Stop trying to cancel that debt. You know you got that damn debit card for $500, man. Pay it off. I use the cancellation of debt now because I need to actually make sure that there is gonna be no outstandings to this home I got. And the cars. So the home was on the first one. Do you see what the 1099? See, for this one, it's the 2020 Rolls Royce. You see that stamp on that? That's from Uncle Sam. This one down here says 22 Lamborghini Urus.
Yeah.
See, I don't have to blank out nothing. This ain't Jane or John Doe's paperwork. This is how you get the car. At the bottom, they ask for account number and route number. And who did I put? Rolls Royce Motor Cars of Atlanta. When they asked for the route number on the other Lamborghini, who I put? Elite Motor Cars of Man. When they asked for the house, for the land and home, route number, who did I put? Bank of America. See, I don't want to be paid for the asset. I need the asset. I want Uncle Sam to pay them so they can release control of it, and then I take that control and put it in the corporation. Pass it to a trust. Then drop it down to my family estate for a long time, like 99 years. And then we come back. I put down some money. What originally I put down, I'm finna get back. OID 1099. See, I just made Uncle Sam a nice sandwich. See, I'm finna get this money back. I'm gonna get that back. I need it. Originally, what it was issued was given back to me in a discount. There we go now. And what it said, I bought the house for $2 million, 2.7. But what I'm finna get back is a discount. $1 million, you know? Okay, so I got paid to live in the house. While y'all squatting. See what I'm saying? If you got the bond, why you poor? Why you even asking anybody for money? Right. When somebody got a course, just say, hey man, let me pay you with the bond. You should be under HJR 92, being able to see some award of the state, draft me an invoice, an itemized contract, and a W-9, and you should be able to submit that to Uncle Sam to get the money back for your service. But they don't know how to operate like that.
So high energy says, so you function out of the execution, what, no?
The exemplification?
No, executor office.
Yeah, I do. The executor's office. Yes. My wife's law firm acting as my executrix and then over my estate. You're definitely right. You have to have an executor or executrix over this. And believe me, you will want a woman because she ain't gonna want your ass in jail if you the breadwinner. You want a woman to be your executrix because she ain't gonna get nobody no jurisdiction of your ass being in jail.
That's right.
So my woman will not do that. They'll call her to the scene and let her place me in handcuffs, give her to me, and she places me in handcuffs and take me home. And that one on no damn did not detain this. Whatever the hell else y'all be making up out there. And
so that was an OID form, right?
Right. The last one was a 1099 OID, but like I said, I use these in conjunction with each other. If you notice, it takes 139 pages for a UCC to be a primary trade line. This is already 20 pages. So this right here is already 20, and then there's 120 and 30 more needed. Before that, UCC would recognize this as a real financial obligation to take care of this. So then I would take this sandwich to H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt. Because I don't need to know all the tax forms that need to be on. They do. Because they're the only person that's going to be able to submit it to me, from me, to Uncle Sam to get me recoupment or get somebody else paid in the form of tax credit. I can't do that. Your CPA can't do that. Nobody can do that. Your financial advisor can't do that. Uncle Sam ain't said but only 2 people in the United States can do that. And he give them authorization to a commercial with his tagline on it. That's H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt. Everybody else don't have a commercial backed by Uncle Sam. They have a commercial announcing they know how to file your taxes with them. So that's just like somebody telling them, you're going to report me for how much money I done made and then tell me how much I got to hide. So you're an attorney. You're a person who turned words of the deaf, dumb, mute, and ignorant. I just ain't choosing to be that right now.
Alright, next question. Do you have to change your status?
And no, because there was no status fucked up. Don't believe that. As soon as they say correct your status and they ain't changing, no, I don't believe none of that. You know why? There is nothing to change. There is no status to correct. You ain't even got the birth bond or the simplification record. That ends it all. I ain't had to correct no status. I don't know about no 9/8 and doing all that stuff. Listen, none of that shit work. It don't work. There is no status to correct because Uncle Sam didn't make a mistake on the bond. You need to step forward as a corporation and show that you got 15 acres to absorb it. And then show him that you know how to remove that debt from the public deficit and, you know, be an accountant for your services, man. There's nothing else out here for us to believe.
So basically, you working for Uncle Sam, doing him a favor, and he going to remove.
That's all he asking you for. Uncle Sam is the one who allows you to make money, and you done ran off on the plug. He showed you the game, allowed you to get in his game, created the money on your back, finessed your mama for your birth certificate in exchange for benefit, and you still don't know how to turn in your receipts to him. You're fighting the wrong people and listening to the wrong folk, man. Everybody telling y'all to fight. I'm not telling y'all to fight. I ain't used to fight. Fight me dishonor. Argue me this default. Your ass is in dishonor. I heard that if you put your bottom lip and your top lip together, you'll shut the fuck up. I just heard that. I don't know. Maybe we, you know.
All right, so you shut the, okay.
Right.
All right.
But it's an exercise for that. Bottom and the top. Remember that.
Does the legal name become that state or something?
All right. Does the legal name become an estate only after the body dies?
Hell yeah, because that's the only person that's going to be able to cash it in, Uncle Sam. Yes, your legal name become an estate, a full estate with full credit when you're a doctor. Uncle Sam say, hey, that nigga dead, I need to cash in the bond, so mature it and then bring it to full. So of course Uncle Sam and your name turn into a estate because see, ain't nobody able to do it. You can't even do that while you're alive. That's why I'm trying to tell you to structure the business and the organization of your 15 acres so you can do that while you're alive. You want to be able to cash in and structure your estate now while you're alive. Don't you want some benefits? I know you don't believe in Santa Claus. It's like, you know.
Yes, they do. I believe in Santa Claus.
Well, then you might. It's okay then. So you're gonna get all your benefits when you die. Don't worry about it, son. You know what I mean? I want my benefit now. I just think I need to see them now, and when I get to heaven, I have a balance. But
Yeah,
I want them now. So when I die full.
All right, private banker says arguments equals controversy.
Correct. That's a default, a dishonor. You gotta shut the hell up.
Oh, it says, okay, can you cash in your deceased parents' estate?
No, you don't cash in nobody's estate. Let's get that out. And ain't no money. AJR 192, but the deceased parents, and that's what you gotta inherit the bond. There ain't no money. You gotta inherit their bond to spend it as well, but you need 15 acres. Your family, I would go now in my deceased family and create a will in the estate and go get me some land. So now I can start moving forward to getting my deceased family's estate and as an inheritance, and then leaving my bond as an inheritance to my children. You can't spend your bond. You only just pull your bond and add it to their family's estate so that their children can accept the generationally.
Okay. Now, let's move on.
I told you, boy, I'm ready. I'm gonna be the end with this shit.
Gabe Hancock says, seems like 3% of anything sovereign process seems to work.
Seems like 3% of anything sovereign process seems to work. I'm still confused about it. Yeah, I don't want to do 3%. I need 100% of everything or no percent of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the sovereign shit just don't work, bro. Unless you're a commercial entity. There's nothing a person need to be talking to me about with secure credit or any sovereign. If a sovereign is secure credit, that means it's a commercial thing, period. And right now, you trying to offset doing anything commercially with your personal life is a violation. So that's why only the 3% are getting glitches. They're not getting completed process. They're getting glitches. The secure creditor party don't work.
All right, there you have it.
That's a lot of them. The more
a lot of y'all have it. A lot of you have it. But can you look me in the camera like I'm looking in there? Bro, you know the shit don't work like they sold it to you, bro. I don't care how many temples you got, how many people you did, how many women you got to congregate with you. You know damn well you ain't got no birth bond. You know damn well you ain't got no collateralized certificate of your bond worth no hundreds of $1 million. Because you know why? You can't hypothecate $100 million at 1% because you don't have 10 million or 100 million to put in the bank. So when you take your bond to a bank, which I know you don't because you don't sell this shit to no other race with us. Why don't you take this to the bank? Because then you walk in there to go with the bank and do call your bluff and they're going to say hypothecate 1% of this so we can make it valuable. Do you have 100 million? No. So all that $5 billion, $500 million bond shit don't work.
All right, there you have it. Okay, y'all. All right, so hold on. Next question is, I found my family land patents. Can you use that?
Yes, and it's good that you asked that. Finally, look, a great question. Could you lift your hand, Queen? Look what we got here. What it say? The Declaration of Assigned Days, update of the patent. You see that 21-page document that shows you what you got to go to the Land State Archives, get your stuff, because you need the original patent. See, that's an original patent wrote in the 1800s. That's not one down in the courthouse. You need this one to update, to show that you're in the heir, you're finna inherit land. Bring deceased relatives back by blood. And then you need these 21 pages, because within these pages, there's the declaration, the notice and effect of the land patent and title, 3 pages, and a signature page for the fingerprints required notary. The attestation page. Then you get into the declaration of homestead so that you don't have to pay taxes on this land anymore. Then there goes to the title registration. Then here it is, the original land patent from the state archives. You can't get this from nowhere but the state archives. Then the UCC. You see, I'm showing you a sandwich that was created for Uncle Sam to eat. Declaration. And you gotta forgive this, I was a little hungry. This is half of the page of the land description. I don't know what came over me. I thought this was maybe some white bread and it went left. But I'm showing you, back behind it, the UCC made it. I didn't chew on that. That's another UCC. Then another description of the property. Another UCC, and the UCC 3 to close off the loan. Damn near like a cancellation of debt. See, I'm asking you, if you say your guru got houses, and he gonna help you discharge your house from his apartment, tell him to show you some of the paperwork.
All right, friends.
Y'all gonna get it tonight, so y'all gotta make it viral. Ain't nobody able to produce what we talking about here. Everybody on our team got paperwork to show. Not one YouTube book. Not one sovereign secure creditor party book. We don't know nothing about your international driver license, permits and shit. We don't know nothing about no tribal IDs. We don't need no sovereign plates, and we're not part of the do not detain list.
All right. Now, we're saying all that.
Yeah, they just don't fuck it up.
Oh, listen. What books can we read to get this knowledge? Tell them what book.
White paper with black ink. I wrote the book. I wrote the $200 book. It sold 128,000 copies in 2018 in 3 weeks. Then I wrote coloring books for autistic children called He Teaching Me Numbers in More in the Form of an Answer. And the clothes you see me wear, these be my own clothing. Not just the t-shirts, my own clothing, everything. Everything. So this is what I started out because I needed the truth. If you got this book, then you'll know what question to ask me. You won't ask me during your 1 hour consultation spending $100 about the birth certificate. You won't ask me for $100 consultation how to do the trusts and stuff. Because right now you're going to know the exact word. And guess what word I want you to use? Exemplification from reference. I had to put it on the side of the book because the matrix was reading. Yeah, when the machine read the book, it said it got cuss words and run-on sentences. So it said I wasn't teaching. I was ranting and raving. And then they sent no agents to come bother me in the form of capital letter presentments in my name. If you understand what I'm talking about. So this is the book. Then I wrote one. I wrote part 2, which is what the rich and nobody won't tell you. To talk about this right here and to explain it. Like, we need to be teaching this to our children. So guess what I did? I wrote books for the children. These ain't the same thing. These are all different books for the children. I got you in there somewhere, but I'm talking about these children. So I showed you one for the child. Then I showed you another one for the child. Generational wealth. Then I showed you another one for the child. Then I showed you another one for you. And then another one that's going to make the children financial gurus for kids and teens. And this one right here I did for you. Because I don't want you to give your child what you didn't have. I want them to teach you what you don't know. So he can compliment you. Now, I have you and your child in a combined working household study financial literacy. That's what I did. That's why I ain't got no courses to sell. That's why I ain't to my DM me or comment me, because there ain't nothing to talk about. Shit, I gotta keep this shit up and going. My wife built an executive law firm around me to protect me while I did what I did, because I had to execute what I was studying. So for any information, go to godkisalu.com, GODKISALU, and get your study on for the next 4 hours.
We put it in the chat, y'all, so look, check on the chat. But let's go to the next one. So can you, hold on, can you speak
TikTok,
on?
it's above your head. Tell them it's
Check
above your
the-
head.
Okay, if you look on TikTok, the website is above your head, okay?
Y'all head.
Now let's go, our heads. Come on now, stop interrupting you. Can you speak on chapter 7 or 11 bankruptcy?
The bankruptcy is basically the offset process. Me recouping my funding back and my expenses back is basically bankruptcy. I'm just filing expenses on the corporation. I'm not doing nothing magical. I'm doing the same thing Trump doing. I'm just using terminology that you understand. It's bankruptcy. That's 7, 13, 11, and all that shit is just, if you want to keep some, if you want to save some money, you don't want it on your credit bad for a long term. Either way it go, don't do it. Why not structure a corporation that look like you bought all your bad data and start over in the new corporation, then bankrupt the old corporation? Got him.
All right, Gabe Hancock says, with your wins, tell me great things you did well that knowledge. You mean things? Great things you did well that knowledge. Come on, say it right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what you were saying, but I have done a lot of great things with the knowledge, and I only did it because, like I said, man, you gotta have structure around you. You need an executor and an executrix acting as a limited law firm practitioner, LLP, a limited law practitioner. My wife had a law firm which was scheduled as an asset management firm. That's what you want to operate as, and that's what you're gonna need around you to facilitate this. Because every time the system tells you to do something, guess what they say? Go get you a lawyer. So why not already have one that's already protecting what you need and then go in like you're already talking with the authority of who you are, instead of asking the question about what you need them to do.
Okay, so let's move on. Of course, you know there's a class, but you might have to say it again. It's only a book.
The class is, it's no class for you to buy. You know damn money for y'all. So no, ain't no class, ain't no course, ain't no seminar for you to take. I'm only just saying buy the book, and I'm trying to create a community. That's why I'm searching for platforms so we can hold conversations to discuss this book, put in my paperwork so I don't have to do that shit, and we can study it without being lost to any of this. I don't need no money from y'all. I'm not one of them. I am him. You don't see no comment below for your this and you want to know the truth. I ain't willing you in. I don't care if you buy this shit or fuck with this shit or not. I ain't no course. I don't have nothing to sell you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth, and then from that like-minded decision, you need to be with another like-minded person. So I'm showing you that that's what we do at this like-minded table. We have like-minded conversations.
That's right.
And I can't even get that. I mean, damn, it's just a little ass book. Hey, that's what man. I don't even do mentors. I don't do mentorship. I don't do that shit. I don't know how to do that. I got a $200 book, another $200 book, a $700 $70 book, a $40 book, and $335 book, and I have a $100 consultation for an hour. Other than that, man, I don't need no money from y'all. Did you hear what I said? This one book sold 128,000 copies in the first 3 weeks in 2018. I don't need no money from you. I'm trying to keep all this goddamn shit right here, so I'm saying I'm making money out of it.
Somebody says, is the paperwork signed in pen, or do we sign it with a fingerprint?
It depends on what you're doing. That fingerprint shit only had to happen when
No, this on YouTube.
I only use my fingerprint when I had to utilize it to get out of jail on my bid bonds and my paper bond, my performance bonds, and my what is the last first appearance bond. That's the only time you're gonna have to utilize the fingerprints. You know what I'm saying? That I've seen it done is when I had to utilize them on the bonds, the Miller Act bonds, when I had to put a collateral damage and make sure that they attested to that, because I had fired the prosecutor. In your 3 court dates for your exemplification record, they fired a prosecutor. Prosecutor is a Latin term for trustee. He's your trustee. So right now, he's over your estate that you were just talking about when you passed. So the exemplification of a record process in court date fires him and appoints me a new trustee, which is my executrix. So now when I do get locked up, I have to utilize the Miller Act bonds, the first appearance bond, which is the SOR, sign my own recognizance or recognizing, then the bid, the performance, and payment. Them 4 bonds going to require a fingerprint and a collateralized damage, and you submit that to the county treasurer.
Okay. Now, you know, they
And I hate that. I be listening to myself talk about this shit. This shit be going. I hate that shit. All right, go ahead on to the next one.
Gary Hancock is kind of pissing me off. Okay, so we not gonna do this right here because it sounds like you're trying to be funny. So
What is that?
Oh, you haven't given nothing.
Oh, listen. You don't have to be in the stands. All you have to do is not even come with a negative comment, but tell me what you want me to prove to you to show you I know what I'm talking about. We don't have to do that. I came to show you show and tell, and I'm gonna leave here showing you my goddamn gifts. I ain't gonna get mad about it. So just ask the right question. What do you want me to show you?
Nothing, because he don't know what he's talking
I
about.
understand that, but I still want you to ask me. The spirit is telling me to ask you, what would you like me to show you something?
Not a goddamn thing.
No, because that way we won't have no problems and get off the right foot. You know what I'm saying? And then now you get in is just $200. Because later on, it'll be $1,000. You know how they raise the price after we say yesterday price and the day price.
Get out of here. He's funny. Where can we learn and study that and patent information?
Where can we learn instead of the land patent information? Inside the class we're creating, that's why I say there's no courses and no this shit. We're going to create a community where we're going to see this paperwork for 120 days, create an action plan, and then going to execute on this shit. I don't need a bunch of people to stand out and learn from me. I'm trying to create some examples so I don't have to talk so much.
All right, so they have. All right, tomorrow do a video of the entire compound.
I don't have an entire compound, but we do have acres of land that we actually control and trying to actually subdivide and then make it into a community in Alabama. Compounds is for when we're on the islands or we're in Africa and stuff like that. That's a terminology.
Right.
You know, over here in the United States, we're going to use the terminology of subdivision. So, you know, I can show you build outs or Army and Engineer Corps buildings and plans for build outs of subdivision and municipality too. Because I'm trying to create my own entities and for my family too for the next 99 years.
All right. What about what the rich don't want you to know?
It's what the rich won't want you to know. I actually had a chance to sit down with another law firm, then take the things after my wife died in her law firm and put them together in a 120-day action plan. So it ain't no more talking. That book right there is going to be for people who are not just sitting around. These people ain't studying it. These people know what they want to do and they know how to act on it. They're just going to need the right information, the truest information, and transparency in what they're doing so they know what to expect. What the rich won't tell you is the blueprint of just what it's saying. This is your estate plan. This is the only secret you ever need to know. This book here was just the introduction so that we learn how to talk together. And it's going to give you all the answers and everything about what I'm showing you. And then from the next book, what the rich won't tell you is from a law firm's point of view of how to enact that too. Because you're going to want explanations of how to do an executor and an executrix. You want explanations about what happened and how I pulled it. And I'll give that to you in all my books. I don't have nothing to sell you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth so you can make a decision and actually put up what we got going on over here now.
Okay, Canary says he needs a bundle of all your books.
I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind bundling the book. Like I said, I only have books. And none of my books is for sale or fluff. These are real, actual manuals that people around me, when they was getting around me, they were saying, hey man, thank you for your first book, but I need books to study because what you're talking about, no one else is leaving the crumbs on. So I had to begin chronicalizing and then taking notes of what I was doing. And that way I can put it in the compiled place and then say, hey man, this is what you need to do. And then that's what you got is what my wife really did. You're dealing with a finished product of what happens when that executives get around you, allow you to be free, and learn how to do the exemplification from record.
Okay. Could you have been the executor of yourself, or someone else?
No, you can't be the executor of yourself. What they're going to do is not place you as executor of yourself. If you're by yourself and don't have no one else, they're going to place you as a trust guardian. Not no trustee, none of that. I'm giving you words you never heard of. Trust guardian, trust decanting. These are only words you're going to see in what the rich won't tell you. See, that's what's in the rich what the rich won't tell you, the truth.
All right, what other expenses are involved other than the cost of the books?
Yeah, I don't have no other expenses, man. I got $100 consultation for an hour. Like I said, once you buy the book, then you already got access to me to find out the truth or not. I don't have nothing to sell you. I'm not finna pull a magic rabbit out of the hat and tell you, oh, I got your ass over here. Or your name changed to correction status costs $10,000. Ain't none of that. You bought the book, and I appreciate you. Now let me show you my appreciation by actually helping you decipher the damn book.
All right. Now, King's Lead says, can any of this information protect us against CPS?
Yeah, all this protects you for CPS because actually you're going to remove everybody and place them in your family estate. That's why it's so important to have them 15 acres. The 15 acres is what the government say we don't have the right to trespass on your family rights because y'all can live off the land. When you want to stop dealing with child protective service, you got to pull them children out of school. You got to get them off of them benefits. You got to structure yourself and your entity to look like it's taking care of the children when you can't.
All right. Now,
it's a whole process for that, and I would love to help you out with that because you know it's just pulling your children from the system. But the process of doing that don't even involve you filing no papers for your children and doing all this other stuff. All you have to do is do the exemplification from record, or get you an estate, set up your estate in place. Well, I'm gonna say, how can I say this? Stewardship of your children over the corporation instead of the wars of the state for the government to say that they got to take care of them. That's all it's about. The government saying they taking care of your children, and you ain't doing it better than we are. So if you step in and build a corporation or a family trust that look like you got the benefits to take care of the children outside of you, then that's the person that's gonna fight CPS for you.
all right. Yes, you must have much money to do these things.
No, you don't need to have a lot of money. You need to have a lot of audacity. You need to have a lot of confidence to pull this shit off. You don't need no money, man. You just need the confidence and audacity because the money that you're going to need is going to be spent on yourself, investing in yourself. Going to find your acres of land, man, structuring your corporation. If anybody asks you for some money, most likely 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a scam.
All right, how it is inherited estate, use corporation to offset debt, then assigned to private corporation.
Inherit the estate, use the corporation to offset the debt, and then assign to private, corporate middleman. In the situation, yes, you do want to inherit the estate. That's going to give you the simplification. The corporation is what you actually use to get debt, as far as cars, houses, and things of that nature, assets. Now you're going to utilize the corporation, the nonprofit, the foundation, and the church to offset those, and then disperse ownership of the funds, the assets. So in the correction way, you are correct, but the corporate is always going to be the middleman because it's going to be the one that's going to get the funding or the lines of credit that you need.
All right, and then we just got a bunch of people praising you and telling you to preach. God, preach, God.
Amen, amen. Can people get up, man? What y'all do? Snap y'all fingers in them little business and stuff, you know what I mean? I gotta do it the love. What that stuff with Love Jones? When they be in there, they be talking in the neo soul movement and say something good in the jazz bar. They do that in the jazz bar. Okay, y'all. I would say that. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, so he says, peace to you, God, for real. And your wife, Jolene, totally understand what happened and empathize with you.
appreciate that, bro. Like I said, I didn't understand it. I never thought that somebody within our own family would take my wife away. My wife didn't die on that because she got taken out of here by her own daughter out of jealousy and envy of what I was able to do or how I was treating her mom in the end. And I'm still living with it. This is why I stopped selling the book 2 years ago and why I withdrew from the scene. Why I was scarcely available. People want to ask what happened to me. Like, shit, I just fell off. I fell back. I ain't want to do nothing. I ain't want to talk nothing. Then my firstborn son, 25, just turned 26, died 9 days later. So I didn't want to talk nothing. Then my grandfather passed. So it was a lot of death in me accepting who I was as a Job. So if anybody know the family of Job, we already know what I had to go through. So I had to go through that to learn how to experience the suffering for 5 minutes instead of suffering from their deaths for the next 5 years. And I'm here to show you how that too.
All right. Now, who Kate says, why do you talk so fast?
I don't know, baby. I had wrote so much shit on my heart. That shit didn't come out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna try to slow it down in the community we create. You know what I mean? Because when we be here, we be doing our thing. But when we get in a more relaxed environment and you get into school, man, I won't talk so fast. And if I do talk fast, you just make sure you raise your hand and tell me, "Hey, slow down so I can grab it." Because I will do that. Because what kind of teacher won't slow down just to teach the student? You know what I'm saying? If I tell everybody to get out and get mad at them, I won't have no class on.
Chakra House 365 on YouTube says, I love how you speak in layman terms. I just came in and totally understand. So grateful.
No, I appreciate you, man.
present.
That's the whole thing to do. It's to make it that it's articulable for you to understand and make decisions. See what I'm saying? I don't want nobody. We're grown. Everybody watching these chats are grown. We don't want to be total or soul shit. Just tell me the truth so I can make a decision as a grown up to put up with whatever you got going on or even involve myself. But here's the key. If anybody say, oh, it's a rabbit hole, don't go.
That's right.
Because if this nigga told me it was a ding-a-ling on the other side of the door, I ain't going. So if it's a rabbit hole, don't go. We over here talking about its levels to this. You have to rise in everything you study. What's the use of studying and then feel like you got weight?
Shannon Perry says, I appreciate you giving the truth to us.
Man, listen, I just appreciate being able to. What you're seeing is just a finished product of my wife, Jolie. Like I say, man, she saved my life at 27. She pulled me up out of there and made my loan sharking and stuff I was doing in the business legitimate. She made sure I was clean. You know what I mean? Right. What I was doing, I was loaning to sharks. That was very powerful out here in Atlanta, and she made sure I was protected. Got him.
All right. Okay, so, wait a minute, hold on. We have a good question here. Hold on. Wait, first of all, you can find the book. If you go to the website, people are not clicking on the 3 little lines on top, right?
And just go scroll down to the website
Right.
and then go through the 3 lines and click the literature. And then scroll down and select by now. But templates. Yes, I will provide templates in the community that we're forming because I want y'all to know what I feel like. That's why I was showing you tonight what it looked like. I'm sorry I couldn't get it to the camera close enough, but I don't have nothing to hide my name or nothing. What I show you is what you do because I want you to fill it out the same exact way to get the same exact results. That's just the bottom line. I don't want to tell you this what it is, show you this what I did, and then like, well, you can go out and figure out how to fill it out on your own. I don't know how to do all that, man. What I'm trying to do is just show you that I'm the living example and we can become living examples ourselves. I didn't name myself God because I needed that title. I named myself because I wanted you to see that it wasn't blasphemous for you to do the same thing.
All right, now, Ultimate Original says, what's the difference between a trust guardian and a trustee?
A trustee is a person that's appointed to one trust. Trust guardian is a person that's situated over all trusts and they can handle a multitude of trusts and they're not liable or responsible for a lot of the stuff that goes on within the trust.
All right, where is
About 10
where
minutes.
she? Ultimate Original. Where is she
Okay, you can
reading
do that,
from?
Lee.
Where is she? I'm reading from the front of the page. I'm reading from the camera in front of. That's what you're putting in the chat.
Right. And then here's another thing, chat, and both chats I want y'all to do. Right now, in the building that we did, we actually have a recording studio there. So, we're gonna hear probably like 5 or 10 minutes of some beat for the next 5 or 10 minutes. If we do hear any music, because they're actually mixing the song down, they're finna patch it out so they can go. But I appreciate you, and we're gonna get through this and then continue on what we got going on.
All right, real quick, can I change my LLC to an S corp?
Yes, it's called entity conversion. Go to the Secretary of State and look at how to convert your entity to an incorporation. They will have articles of incorporation instead of articles of organization on the Secretary of State, so you can use the Secretary of State template to file your stuff. And put yourself as a registered agent. Stop putting yourself as CEO, CFO, and COO. Why not put Mary Jacob Smith or Mary Little Lamb as the CEO and the CFO, and then put yourself as the managing director, so that way when they run the corporation name, it'll look white, sound white on paper. And they might go in the white bank and get some white money with your black self.
All right. One of the chosen says, when you need a cleaning, what do you mean? When you need a cleaning, just wait it. I'm gonna say your book is fire.
All right, no, I appreciate that. Whoever got the book and you let me know it's fire, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said.
I was at a meeting in Alabama.
Oh, then that's it. Oh, man, you're an original. You see that? That's one of the people who came to the thing when I did the seminar, because when the people tried to hurt me, and I went back to them to show them that I won. The people that I tell you about. I went back and did a seminar in the city.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they came. Mm-hmm. We ate. Actually, I talked for 4 hours. Went across the street, booked the restaurant. We ate there, and then I stayed for another 4 hours and talked to the people. I did nobody left without getting a chance to that.
Really? Yeah.
So I appreciate it. And like I said, that was in Alabama. Like I said, he met Joe Lee. He was actually there, and man, I appreciate that. That brings back memory. I'm glad I had a chance to work with you, man. And I probably want to speak with you because, like I said, anybody that had a chance to meet my wife, I definitely want to work with you and see where we go from there. Because a lot of the stuff that had prevented me from fully working with a lot of people was making sure that my wife's health was okay.
All right.
I couldn't stand that.
That person is high energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reparations on YouTube says, is it possible to do any of this without zero capital?
Yes, because it's not about the capital. It's about structuring and doing the acquisition. So you really just need to put all your stuff in place about what you're going to get. The capital is going to be based off your credit in the corporation. That's why I say build a corporation, because see, you ain't going to have the capital. Mm-hmm. Build a corporation, let it get the capital to free you. Okay. And then write that freedom off as a business expense.
Okay. Jordan then says, you are the capital. That's what he's saying.
That's what I was just going to tell you. Your signature could actually authorize capital. Put a corporation together and let that corporation authorize capital based off your signature.
This letter is going on too. So,
she said, just purchase the book. It's very easy. Told you.
See?
Go to the site, hit the tab, scroll down, match buy, and you're out of there. I ain't even ask you for your phone number.
So you gotta click on those lines on the top, and then you get to the book. Okay?
Yeah, go to literature
to
part.
the books. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to claim my family land, and people stealing oil underneath the land.
All right. You want to file a mineral claim with an updated land patent. So you need to update your land patent based on the minerals that's based in the ground. And you need to go back and bring that updated back and then put it in the courthouse so you can file legal injunctions to get claims or somebody stealing some land. Put an injunction together so you can stop it.
Okay. What kind of pushback did you or others that have followed your process face implementing?
Nothing that, so I'm saying, I haven't heard anybody got no get back. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I did experience was when I first put the book out. The system didn't want me to have it. Just like this young man said, he put my stuff up and this Instagram took it down. When I first tried to drop the book in 2018, the book went and sold 128,000 copies because I didn't know that many people. I probably knew 7 to 10 people online, but I put up the screenshot that Square and PayPal refused to sell the book because it went against their community guidelines and taught people about alternative payments, and it just took off from there. I didn't really receive no backlash. Backlash from the acquisition is not coming. You know where backlash comes from? Trying to go to your town and trying to build it up. Trying to get into corporate places and get behind them politics, get with them people. That's when you're going to have trouble because they're not going to respect you. They're not going to respect the game. And then if they do, they all going to think it's a hustle.
BTO, whatever, 777 says, can I join the committee through your website?
What you'll do is through our website, you'll leave an email and just say that, leave a statement that you would like to be added to the email list for the book community. The only thing we're asking for the community, like I said, I don't have no $1,000 charge. We're just asking that you have a book so that we know that you know the right questions to ask us. This is the book, white paper, black ink, The Chains of Abundance.
All right, Ultimate Original says we go back to Alabama for real.
Right. Alabama, you already know what it is, man. Alabama is where we started and where we put this stuff together. Like I say, you can go and buy the book on the website. We kind of made it easy for people to do the purchase. We got a Zelle situation set up. If you want to use Zelle, you have to just hit us on the contact page, and that way we can send you the email that's associated with the Zelle. Cash App the same way. If you want to do a Cash App, you have to request that. But for the making matters purposes better, and we can keep track of everything that's going, we just ask you to pay through the web.
All right, I'm just curious. Do we receive tracking number for the book once purchased? I purchased it last week.
Right. Tracking number will actually go out tomorrow.
Okay, because somebody just asked that over here.
Yeah, tracking number will go out tomorrow. We had an over influx of purchases last week, and then they did it this weekend. They actually worked this weekend to stay in the office to actually get the stuff to go out today. So most of the stuff got out today. I know that. So you will receive packaging tracking numbers tomorrow because I saw the boxes and stuff leave early.
Okay, I got another. Peace, God. I appreciate all the wisdom and knowledge. Do we get rid of the debit and credit cards?
You really don't get rid of the debit and credit cards until you actually utilize the fact that they actually offset and paid off. So you need the credit. You need to reuse them again. So you need to be thinking in the form of the line of the credit as a business expense. That's why I say you want to utilize the 1099 because on it actually if the card was present, how much was swiped and what it was doing, you need to just allocate these off of business expenses. So you don't want to get rid of anything because if you try to get out the matrix poor, it's going to snatch you back in. Try to get out the matrix rich, it's going to snatch you back in. You have to slide out this motherfucker invisible almost. And the only way you're going to do that is you make sure you don't owe nobody.
All
All
right.
right, hold on. Who Kate is in the UK? She says, I'm in the UK. Do I have to convert the process for the UK or can I do it in the US too?
No, you can utilize this in the US or the UK, but you don't have to convert anything. The only thing you want to be changing if you're in the UK or the US is where your domicile is as far as your headquarters and then the type of entity from an LLC to an S Corp or a C Corp, whatever situation works best for you.
Okay, I got another.
Okay, real quick. I purchased the book yesterday. What is the turnaround on the
Yes, right here. We know, like I said, all books, like I said, will be shipped. Where they were shipped out today, tomorrow you will receive tracking them on the book.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the books were shipped out today. I saw that myself personally. I helped them, like I said, a large order of books and influx of people actually got the books, and so they want to be a part of the community. I appreciate it, and I thank you. It just took us some time over the next few days to organize everything because we just set up on a different platform. At first we would set the Cash App, but now it's just a 1-2 step process. So now everything is on the ball and up and up. So tomorrow you should receive tracking numbers.
So you have Cash App or you have
Zelle,
Afterpay, Zelle,
Apple Pay,
you
Zelle,
got
Klarna, PayPal.
So they got all ways now, y'all.
All right. Reparation says, can the fees to change an LLC into a corporation be waived under any circumstance?
Right. Not against the Secretary of State because see these are fees you can't get around. Once you pay these fees, these are the fees you want to put on your 1099 OID because you want to recoup them back that way. Okay. What was originally issued will be given back as a discount. So you file your 1099 OID with all the things you spent. Those expenses can be recouped, but not be paid by Uncle Sam or anybody else first. They can't be waived because that's a system charge. Okay. So there's no way to get around it. You have to pay that and then recoup the expense. Right? Yeah.
All right, Mr. Cripps, pay by bill says, so if we bought the book in the days, can we get grandfather in for the book?
Oh, he's saying if he bought the book back in the day, is he grandfather? Yeah, you already in there, man. What you talking about? You already in the OG, huh? You already got the book, you know how we rock. Yeah, you can jump back in the group. You were never out of the group, you know what I'm saying? And if you bought the book, you already know what it is. This is the first time that I've ever did this and put a community together because you've been knowing me since Alabama. We didn't even rock with no groups, telegrams, or clubhouses. We only rock direct.
All right. So, 4.3 Capital says your book has trust information and tax information in it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Of course, because I only talk about what I've done. So, yeah. Sorry about that.
Maybe asking who really something.
Yeah. The book got a lot of useful information and the topics in it. You know what I'm saying? The things I discussed. In the community that we're creating, I'm going to actually be able to put these templates. For completion of the courses that when we get together, I'm actually going to also have, I didn't want to tell everybody, but I'm going to let you know now that my wife law firm is going to be able to actually do all the trusts and documents. So you are never going to spend no money outside of nobody else does again. When you come in this community, you're going to become family, but also a client. You need financials, we got that. You need trust documents and we got the stuff set up. Why would we tell you to go somewhere else where they're going to charge you overpay? Mm-hmm. So whatever they're going to charge you, we're going to beat it anyway because you don't supposed to be out there in the street spending your money with nobody else anyway. So I ain't got nothing to do but just show you the truth. Prove that I'm doing it by making you the example. It ain't on nobody but me to just show you. And if you don't show up, I can't show you shit.
goddamn thing, y'all.
Right, so sure, buy the book and sure. I ain't even asking for nothing, just buy the book and sure.
Do you teach the recruitment process for the 1099 forms in the book?
We teach those, we talk about it and explain them in the book. We actually teaching those in the community because this wasn't nothing I taught. I didn't do no mentor. I ain't with all that. You don't need to be following me and I don't need nobody following me.
That's right. Dub M3332. Go get the book, because if you get the book, you'll understand that everything is in the book that you're asking. Now, this is the next level financial literacy freedom.
Right. It is that because see, after my wife died and then what happened now when I met with Nick and everything, and we just decided that this type of information was and needed to be put out there.
Mm-hmm.
How can I show you that I'm experiencing a suffering for 5 minutes and not suffering from that experience for 5 years if I just stop doing what I'm doing when I already got a call? So my feelings and emotions ain't in it. I'm gonna do this because my baby was watching me saying, you better do what the fuck I told you. So I ain't even worried about nothing you can do, and ain't nobody on earth gonna do nothing to me. I'm more scared of her in the afterlife about what she gonna do if I don't show y'all what I'm capable of doing, because she said she put too much in me.
That's right. Bought the book. Okay. Thank you. I am Maka. Thank you for buying the book.
When they say God Kisalu didn't sell no mentoring, like so-called gurus back in the days, you're right. He can tell you, I ain't never had no mentoring, I ain't never had no template, I ain't had no courses to sell you. I ain't do what the so-called gurus did. You're right, fam. I didn't want like that. I dropped the book and worked with the people. And if I stayed in touch with you, that's what it was. If I did, it did. But in actually, my staying in touch with anybody wasn't a fault of mine. I didn't want to work with them. It was because I needed to stay close and just make sure my baby was straight. You got to remember, I only wrote the book and dropped the book because my baby got sick and I couldn't go out in the street and be who I was anymore, so I had to stay close. So that's why I wrote the book and dropped the book. So you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. And then if I meet somebody, I talk to somebody, in the midst of me maybe establishing a relationship, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go back to the house, I gotta go take care of wife. So you know what I'm saying? There wasn't nothing that I could do, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So please, anybody who missed me or I didn't keep in touch with you, don't charge it to my mind, just charge it to the step of I had to do what my heart needed to be done, and then, you know what I'm saying, just grab me the opportunity to make it up to you.
Y'all heard him. Let him get the opportunity to make it up. But guess what, y'all? We are compassionate people, aren't we? Right? We compassionate people.
It just did.
We understand.
It just did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I write all relationships off. Even I don't care, man. I don't pay you to stay. I pay you to go away.
I like that. I don't pay you to stay. I pay you to go away.
Oh, listen,
Y'all
check
heard that?
please. Check please.
Alright.
You can get this.
All right, this is the type of information that we free a lot of people from financial bondage.
Of
We
course.
had a real matriarch, Chief Kisalu.
Oh yeah, nah. She was that. Listen, she snapped me up at 27. I was still in the street, so I put like $42,000 in her safe. And then when I came back 2 weeks later, it was gone. It was filled up with 6 manila folders of paperwork. I ain't never known nothing about no paperwork. She told me she built shelf corporations and all that, but I didn't understand all that talk. And she told me each corporation had about $250,000 in it, and she wanted me to get it out of there because she believed I was smart enough to do it. I'm just so happy and thankful that I was not ignorant enough to cuss her out about some money. I didn't fly off the house and say, God damn, none of that. I just said, for real? Hold up. Let me smoke me a blunt before we get. And then she began to explain to me what I needed to hear. Then, you know what? I looked at the corporation, I studied the corporation, and I came out of the corporation, not with 200 or something, but a couple of 100,000 in them. And then I knew from there that it takes the right type of woman to pour into you and pull out of you. I mean, 'cause I had been in a situation where I put money in the safe and the young lady like, oh, you gonna go real? Oh, let's go shopping. Oh, you taking care of the bills? And that shit sounded like it was something good and smart to do. But then I started to different when a woman say, hey, let's go get something to eat. Then a grown woman that say, hey, I cook. Another woman be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want to go do this. And well, hey, shit, bills paid, you know what I'm saying? You want to go do something? See, it was different aspects of what a woman would say than a girl would say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to start noticing that. You know what I mean? So all the stuff you're seeing is only because in order for God to mold you, he got to melt you. You're looking at the finished product of what Jolie Rod did. You know what I mean? She laid down hers just so I can become God. And that's why I'm standing on what I'm telling y'all today. So as you get it, I'm talking slow, not fast. Because my baby in the background.
That's right. She's standing right here, y'all.
All right. She just
Right
telling me,
here.
she telling me to slow it down. 'Cause she like when I talk about her.
See?
Yeah, I mean.
See? And look, higher energy say you found the goddess.
Right. It was energetic, you know what I'm saying? We found each other. We talked for 3 to 6 months before we even met each other. And then we found in line with each other. She went back to her boyfriend or whatever. She was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Monday morning, she was with me. And we stayed together for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It what it was.
Save that for the documentary, y'all. Come on, don't do too much. Don't do too much. You gotta save that. Go learn about that later on.
Right.
All
We
right.
got a documentary about everything, even her
That's
death. It's called The Sins of My Seeds. You know what I'm saying? And I already got it written out as a screenplay. So I want y'all to know the story because I got a life and I got a million with y'all. Y'all gonna like it. It's definitely from her point of view.
Where can I find your book? Danny Johnson?
Man, godkisalu.com, then GODKISALU.
Look above the screen, you see it right above our heads.
In the middle of that sign.
Right in the middle, you'll see it.
In the middle of that paint.
Right now in the middle of the painting, if you look on your screen, it say godkisalu.com. Right. Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Hold on.
Yeah, look at right now. I'm tickling. Yeah, no. All right. That's where y'all want to go look at. That's where y'all want to shop. But, you know, and my analytics from my website tell me the average person spends 2.5 to 4 hours on my site studying and stuff. So I appreciate that, man. That's why I say, man, a lot of this stuff shouldn't cost nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because, shit, I'm going to beat the algorithm. And then I'm going to use a corporation who give me some money from the bank. I ain't trying to get no money from y'all. We can't take pictures in my hand in your pocket and yours in mine.
All right, we put it in the chat as well, y'all. One way Ken says, can I be a part of the directing the documentary?
We be a part of directing, film, acting in. The directing is not only the start, but it's the beginning because we're going to be screening for a lot of films. That's the whole reason we're in this building, the studio. We're going to be, casting and looking for stuff for people to play parts in movies that was already written. We got 19 scripts up, but we only finished with 11. And that's where we're going to start at. So in the near future, maybe in the next few 4 months, we'll be getting to people and sending headshots and stuff like that. But for right now, we want to just get everybody together so that we know what we looking like and we know we're together.
All right, there you have it. We got 5 more minutes left, y'all. 5 more minutes. YouTube, TikTok, come with your questions.
Right.
But let everybody know the book again for the new people who just joined.
I'm on YouTube at God Kisalu in court. INC God Kisalu. I'm on TikTok at God Kisalu. Instagram is Kisalu INC. KISALU INC. Facebook is GK Kisalu. Those are the platforms you will be able to find me at. I just set up so us to be able to just stay linked with each other. So we're gonna put those forth. Right, we're gonna put those into the chat so you can see where to follow us me at, and then stay updated about everything that we got going on. Cause we ain't gonna let the momentum die. And then if all y'all need is just the paperwork and the proof that it exists and is real, oh man, I got that. I got that all day. I got that all day for y'all. Y'all just don't know. Y'all met the right one. And I love this shit. I love what I do. I love my life. I love the financial position I placed myself in. Off of learning how to read and write, I made myself to where I'm not dispensable. I'm valuable. I became worthy. And now my only mission is to go back and just show people and my family and everybody else that this is possible by being an example.
All right, family, any last minute questions before we go? Because I know y'all asked for it, you got it. Show and prove, and you showed and proved tonight.
And then also when y'all come to the community, man, let us know what talents you got. Let us know the things that you've accomplished so we know what the type of people we're actually putting inside our bunker.
Halloween is coming.
Right, because July 1st, our community is like a bunker. We ain't trying to go out of space, but we're going to build a bunker. And we're going to build a community bunker that we know how to be valuable to each other, you know what I'm saying, as a community. Because if the adults are like-minded, then the children are going to make sure that they prosper.
That's right.
Our children are the way out of this. Yeah. If they learn this and implemented this, and you taught them what they don't know, oh man, we'll be ahead of the game.
All right, hold on. There goes my book.
We got a question.
Real quick, the lights are flickering, y'all. There goes Boca. Boca, I already told him about you, my brother. Okay, and we'll talk some more. He said, have you trademarked your legal name?
Nah. It wasn't the reason to do that. Only reason somebody
It might be now.
right. Now, and the only reason I would tell you to trademark your legal name is if you want to sue debt collectors for calling you or bothering you about your credit and putting your name in circulation because they have no right to. No debt collector, no person has the right to put your name on any sheet of paper. So if you trademark your name, they can't put that name in. That's a $50,000 violation. These are Fair Credit Reporting Act and consumer laws. That would be the only reason for me trading my name. Because I'm finna go and start suing all the people on my credit report.
Yeah, me too, goddamn. I'm about to go.
Right. See, that's a lawful step. You can trademark your name, not for this legal mumbo jumbo talking about some sorry shit, because that shit don't work. Hell, I ain't trademark my name. I know it already. I'm trying to change that, motherfucker. I'm telling you to trademark the name so you can sue the credit companies and all them recovery sellers that's on your credit report. You can go down the list. You can get $15,000 to $10,000 or $50,000 for each violation, and that means sending you a letter. So you got proof of them sending you a letter, calling your phone, some type of correspondence to collect the debt. Oh, you got a violation, and it'll stand up in court, and they won't even have to go to court because paperwork rule. He who argues in default.
They're gonna want to do it out of court. Can we apply? John Lynch says, can we apply paperwork to a marriage license or marriage certificate?
What
Two
paperwork?
different things, right?
Yeah, like, but what?
I don't know.
But what paperwork would you want to apply to a marriage license certificate? The only thing that you want to do if you're married, because y'all actually on paper that way, is actually make one person the executor or the executrix over the estate. You know what I mean? Because the county estate is already involved in it.
So me and her, when me and her do it, I can be the executor over hers, and she could be the executrix over
No, you
mine.
can't.
No, it has to be one person acting as the executor and one person acting as the secure person, the one who got the bond.
Okay.
Yeah, bonded party.
Like, what if she got a bond and I got my bond, like we did?
Y'all will be husband and wife. Y'all be governing under the state.
Oh, okay, I got
See,
it.
there's only gonna be one head of household. You won't be able to live off both of y'all bond because y'all bond will be the bond for the children.
Okay.
One of y'all will have to say my estate or my family is dedicated to my great great granddaddy. That's who bond will live off.
Okay.
But you can do it because we only have a certificate. We don't
Okay.
have a license.
Okay.
Right.
So
Oh,
the
okay.
certificate just says you got the certificate to get married.
Okay.
And you do
The license is just saying that you're actually married. You've been authorized to marry. But all of it still mean your ass going to probate. Somebody you did.
Okay.
Right. And that's why I say Georgia don't recognize coming out married. We was together for 20 years.
Yeah, they don't. They sure don't. It said if you got.
And I had a power of attorney in a fucking HIPAA agreement saying that I was in charge of her medical.
What happened?
Shit, they told me I had to leave the hospital. Her daughter came in. Georgia don't recognize that shit, and then her daughter pulled the plug on her because she thought everything I had was inheritable.
I don't know what he mean by that. He just says, can we apply paperwork to a marriage license or a certificate?
Yeah, I wouldn't understand it on what paperwork it is about what paperwork is how you free yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says right here. John Lynch at the bottom.
Can we apply paperwork on your marriage license or certificate? You just answered that question, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not the fact that you can apply the paperwork, you know what I'm saying? It's about who is liberated and control. You try to fight jurisdiction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or control over assets. Somebody needs to be an executor or an executrix. 9 times out of 10, it needs to be the wife. The women is the only ones I seen call the police punk ass motherfucker. Niggas do not say shit back to police. I have never seen a man argue with police. I've always seen a woman jump in front of the man and say, "What do you mean? He ain't going to jail." I've never seen the man jump in front of the woman and say she ain't going to jail. That nigga's like, "Baby, I'm gonna borrow you out." So make the woman your executive.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
Listen, I've just seen it. You watch cop. You watch cop. You seen that dude to us. I can't get no phone. I can't get a phone. No, nigga, she going to jail. But every time a woman be like, "Sir, put your hand around me." He didn't do nothing. She down there be ready to fight off.
That's true.
See, the women are more, they're not scared of it. So
That's
I would say, I make my woman and my executive because she going to fight off some more. See, a woman is almost like the white people when they get out of the car. What the fuck you pull me over for? Ain't no black man jumping out of the car like that. Sir, look, you wave your hand like, "Sir, I ain't even did nothing." I ain't even driving. But so,
We're gonna add an extra tag, and after that.
Because the black man get a different energy.
yeah, black man get a different energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bullshit.
She be like,
Yes,
no,
they do.
fuck that. And officer walk up, you be like, excuse me, sir, what's wrong, sir? And you gonna say yes, sir, no, sir. You gonna be like, girl,
So
shut
you gonna
up.
let the wife go to jail?
Hell nah. My wife ain't never going to jail. I'm a
White boy be like, what the fuck you pulled me over for?
And listen, that's the confidence my wife gave me. That's damn sure how I be acting. When you realize you don't have a fear of incarceration, you act the same way. Because I lawfully know I didn't create no traffic violations for you to pull me over. And there is no injured party, so why the fuck did you pull me over? This gotta be a commercial charge. Which is somebody do something wrong, but you got it on your camera. You got it on your fucking radar gun. There is no RAS, which stands for reasonable articulate suspicion, for you to even be talking to me right now, Officer Dick. That's how you got that.
Isn't that in your book?
Yeah, that's in my book.
Yeah,
Got him. Look at that. What is it in the book? Yeah, it's in the book. It's in the book.
Got him.
Right. It's like, no. You'll never make it here. It's hot as a cure. 4 other sons, a furnace here. I'm lame.
All right, last question of the night, because the lights are blinking. We're about to get stormed out, y'all. Here you go. Do you know about business owner insurance? No.
Business owner insurance wouldn't be like you owning insurance or life insurance. Business owner insurance, I remember if I was a business, I want to get an IUL and then run the IUL through Kaiser Permanente, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicaid, and all that, so that can benefit. And then I offer that to benefit as to my employees. That's how you want to do your insurance. So it won't bother you. Because if you go through the corporation and you try to get insurance for your employees, it's going to be very costly. You need to get a policy that you pay into one time, and then the benefits of it stay lasting a lifetime. Now you got lifetime benefits for your employees, and you only bought one insurance policy instead of having to renew one insurance policy ever again.
All right, that was the last one. The last one was Mr. Pips. Where'd he go? Let me see where he
What got pilled, man?
Oh, right here.
Get current, pay my bills, get current with the IRS, even if it was 0, or you're on the non-filing list. Yeah, everybody's on the non-filing list for tax, what they call frivolous filings, that lead to tax delinquency, that equals to tax evasion. It's always going to be a tax problem, fam. So you always want to balance the books out to 0 in your accounts. That's why I say you want to come out the matrix poor, not wealthy, not rich neither, but you just want to slide on up out the door and come back in the form of a corporation with another name that look like you, sound like you, but it's not you.
All right, there you have it. Now, okay, this is literally the last question, okay? Because we got to get up out of here. What is a good starter business address?
Downtown commercial office, and then for, all right, let me turn it right down. Look, you gotta jack all the address. You need to go downtown. They got them big, nice office building with the big white windows and everything. And you need to call somebody and tell them to do the lease. Whatever sign on there, tell them you want to call and do a walkthrough. Get the application, and then get the business card. That address right there, since that property been vacant, you can utilize for the next 30 days as your business address. This is called jacking the address. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn it. Now, what you want to do for your commercial address is you probably want to not do the virtual thing because it's not going to get recognized in the system because we do zoning and not Googling our addresses. I would just probably say, you know what I'm saying, I would be going into a form of brick and mortar. When you're doing this, you have to have a few dollars to go ahead and invest, so that'll be a first and last month payment. I would say go ahead and have at least 2 months payment of a brick and mortar building office that you would. So that would be $400 times 2, so $800. 500 times 2, that'd be $1,000. Have $1,000 ready to go and pay rent so that you can actually get an address so that you can fund yourself because you're gonna run it up in the first 30 days. So within them 30 days, if you put that $1,000 to that brick and mortar, you know I got 30 days to run my checkup and do applications for credit and lines of credit and things of that nature for financing and funding. That's how I get a commercial address. So if I didn't have no money, I'd jack one. If I didn't have some money, I would go ahead and go the lawful way and go get me a corporate office that look like a brick and mortar. So when they zone, they come back in commercial instead of residential. Post office come back in residential.
You could buy it.
Yeah.
Somebody said, can you use a rural address?
No, because banks don't finance home addresses.
Right.
You automatically make when you put that address in, it automatically, when the computer software run it do a zoning check. And it comes up and it says home address, it automatically makes them ask you for 2 months bank statement, 2 years taxes. To pull your credit, ask you do you got any collateral just for them not to approve you. So no, don't worry about that.
All right, there you have it. And why would you want to do that anyway? Especially with what you're doing. I'm not trying to be funny, y'all, but sometimes you gotta use your common sense.
That's what I'm saying. You want to. It's called aggressive and strategic thinking.
Right.
And it's strategic with our thought process. So our action is gonna always be different than what the norm sees. You just gotta be cocky and confident enough to believe in what you're doing. The world about it.
Okay. Danny Johnson says, hey, does the site process reprocess more than once when someone order?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. After you order the book and take you out there, it shouldn't go back into a double page. But if it did, and then you have to pick one, wait before you purchase again. Let us know. And then if it go through, just let us know. And if it don't, and they kick back to you, you should let us know. But this should be a problem if you do run into that we can work out together.
Okay. There you have it. All right. So one more time, when this class start, where can they get the book so we can get up out of here? Because we got to get some rest, y'all. We got class to come to on July 1st.
Yeah, it's on July 1st. We're trying to pick the platform that we're going to utilize. It's not going to be a social media platform, so you don't have to worry about that. It's not even going to be a platform where you have to pay to be joining or anything else. It will be a private platform, though, where we can actually communicate together about the paperwork we're producing without it having to be, somebody watching you, or who's all this, or the system, or the man being over us. What I'm asking you to do is ensure for yourself. I'm not even asking you for nothing. You see how it didn't cost us nothing to actually communicate with each other. Find a book that we're actually going to study together at the same time and be on the same page, acting on the same accord. Ain't nobody else going to be doing this in history. You're going to be part of a history-making program that's going to be a model for every other person that look like you to follow in another state. They're not doing this, but they're going to do this after we finish.
That's right. And don't forget to share, family. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish.
And y'all go in the back of them groups and tell the people, man.
Right. Tell the people, share the website, tell them to get the book, tell them to come to class.
They better tell them folks, I met God. I'm changing my life. I'm giving my life to God.
He said, and you met the goddess too.
Right. You gotta be honest. You tell the truth and shame the devil.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Right?
No, man.
Well, I got a lot of paperwork to show y'all.
That's the second thing.
Y'all ain't saying nothing.
Huh? Tell the truth and shame the devil. We don't get that from
She always say that. That's why she accidentally southern
Tell
thing.
the truth and shame the devil.
Yeah, you tell the truth, shame the
Yeah.
devil.
That's a country.
You know what's?
You want to tell them bye?
Oh, y'all, have a good night. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I am Wunam, aka Nicky, and he is
God Kisalu. And I appreciate y'all, man. Let me give y'all something to go out here about. You know what I'm saying? It's just a small mindset change that I'm asking y'all to adapt. I'm not asking y'all to come and invest and change my life. I'm asking y'all to just take the time, think about what I'm saying so it can change your life. And if you're ready to change your life, I'm really here to turn on the light and then also walk with you during the path. I'm not trying to get you on something to then lead you, because I'm trying to get you on something until you can become an example of what I'm talking about, and then I can shut the fuck up. So until next time, in July 1st, let's get this community together, let's get this book purchased, and then show me your receipt, man. Show me something. Own nothing, control everything.